Like, subscribe and press the bell icon for more videos from PHN Learn. For more videos, download our app from the Play Store.
Hello everyone, welcome back to the Android Studio development tutorial provided by PHN Technology Private Limited. In the last session, we had learned how to add a new activity, we had learned about layouts, and we had learned about designing the activities. So we have seen different layouts, different controls, for example, edit text, text view, button, and we also designed a login page using linear layout and the controls. Now, as we have studied, an activity consists of a design part and a coding part. In the last session, we had completed the design part. What about the coding part now? We have designed a login page, but when you click on a button, when you type something, nothing happens. Why? Because you haven't handled the runtime events. Now we need to handle those runtime events so that we will be able to perform some action on that activity, and to perform those actions we are going to use the Java file. So let's get started. This is my Android Studio project. Here I have already designed the register page. Those who have watched the login page design tutorial, they'll be easily able to get it. Okay, so here I have used total 6 edit texts for 6 different fields. Register here is the text view, and I have a button register. What is my requirement? When I'll click on this register button, I should get a pop-up message saying you have registered successfully. Okay, it means what? If I will click on the button, then only the message should appear, otherwise it should not appear. Means it is a runtime event which is to be handled by the user. And here for this application we will see the use of Java file. So this is my designing code. I have used a simple linear layout. In this linear layout vertical, I have added text view, edit text, and all other controls. Now we have one important property of edit text. For example, if I am entering name, will my name contain any numbers? Like, can anyone have name Priya 3, PHN 5? No. The name is pure characters, right? So here in this edit text, you can give a property as input text. Now what is the use of this input type property? Okay, so input type property is used to specify the type of input that edit text will accept. If you have to enter contact number, in most of the apps, what happens when you click on enter OTP, we directly get the numbers keypad. Characters are not even displayed. So how to change this keypad? So to change it, we have to use input type property. Let's see how. So in this edit text name, I am typing input type. Now here are the different type. If you have to accept date, number, password, text. Now I have to accept the text because name is in text. Next, for address also it will be text. So input type text. For contact, next edit text is contact. Now contact should only contain numbers, so the numerical keypad should appear. So for that purpose, we will go input type phone. Okay. So only the phone number in keypad will be appeared, and only numbers can be addressed. Email. Okay. So input type. Here if you search, you will get text email address. Okay. It shows @ at the top. There is a small change in it. Password. Now password should appear in stars. We had already discussed in the login tutorial. Okay, so here we will have to give input type as text password. And next field that I have is confirm password. So here confirm password should also be of same type. So input type text password. This is how I have completed the design section of my project. Now we have to handle the click event of this button. Yeah, so we will go to the Java file. For click event, we have to use this main activity.java file. What happens in this main activity.java file? So when I open this file, here you can see some piece of code is already written. Now what is this code? First let's get the understanding of that thing. So here public class main activity. Now remember, do you remember the rule of the Java programming, that your file name and the class name should be same? Same rule applies here, as this is also a Java file. So here What is the name of your file? Main activity.java, whereas what is the name of your class? Main activity. Extends app compact activity. Why is this extends app compact activity? For example, those who have completed the core Java course, you might be knowing when we define our own exception, user defined exception, what we do is any class which is child class of exception is considered as exception. So we write class, let's say ABC exception extends exception. Exception is the parent class. Similarly, here what is my requirement? This main activity class should be an activity. It should not be considered as a normal class. It should be considered as an activity which is linked with the design file, and to achieve this we have to extend it to this app compact activity class. So this app compact activity states that as main activity is child of app compact activity class, it is also an activity and it can be linked to a design file. It is not a normal class where we will define functions and variables. Alright. Now here inside this main activity extends app compact activity. This app, okay, here we have our first function protected void on create. Now what is this on create and why are we writing it? We will see it in detail in activity life cycle video. For now you have to just remember that just like in Java we have the execution starts from the main function. If you have written public static void main, execution will start from there. Similarly, in Android, your execution starts from onCreate function. So whenever you launch your app, okay, the first function that is called is onCreate function. It is the main function of Android. And inside this onCreate function, so these are the closing brackets of onCreate function. Inside the onCreate function, there are two lines. First one is super.onCreate saved instance state. Super.onCreate, why? Because this onCreate method calls the onCreate method of app compact activity class, parent class. Okay, so that whenever we open the app, our activity becomes visible. Now, which design should be displayed? So we have to link this Java file to our XML file, and to link this, we use this set content view line. Set content view r.layout.activity_main. Activity_main is the name of our XML file which is stored in layout folder of res. R is the linking class. See, this is XML file and this is Java file. Both the files are linked using a intermediate file which is R. So R class acts as a bridge between these two. Okay. In Java, if you have to use some XML components, you will use it through R. Okay. So here also, the R stands for the res folder here. In this folder structure, we have seen about the res folder. This res folder is nothing but this R class. In res, in layout, activity_main.xml. So r.layout.activity_main. It means what? This class is linked to activity_main file in layout folder in res folder. Alright. Now whatever the code we are going to write, that code should be written inside the onCreate function only, then and then only it will be executed. If you are writing another functions, we have to call them in onCreate. It is the main function of our Android. So now what I have to do is, this was about the ready-made code of the main activity.java file. We have to write the click event of this button. So whenever user should click on this button, some action should happen which we have to define. Now for that purpose, we will have to create object of that component. We will have to create object of button. How to create an object here? So before creating the object, or objects are created outside the onCreate function but inside the class. Okay, so here at this position, capital BUTTON button, you will get a suggestion. Please pick up the suggestion. Okay. Button, you can give any name, let's say BTN, semicolon. So I have created an object button BTN. Now this is the first step, which is object creation. Next step of using a component is object initialization. You have to initialize an object so that where it will point. So what is my requirement? This BTN should be connected to this button. Now how will Java identify the component present in XML file, it is through the property ID. So here to this button I will add one property ID. Now how to add this ID property? First I will type ID, I got the suggestion. After this, pick up the first suggestion as it is, @ plus ID, and then you can type any ID, let's say btn1. So now this btn1 is the ID of this button in XML file, and don't write btn1 directly. If you write it like this, btn1, it will show error. So what is the procedure to add ID? First you have to type ID, pick up the suggestion, pick up the first suggestion as it is, @plus ID, and then write btn1. Okay? Yes, so btn1, now I have given the ID. Here now I have to link this btn object to the btn1 button of the XML file. How to do this? So see, this code will be inside the onCreate function. Everything will be inside the onCreate function only, except the object creation step. Okay, here btn equals to, now to link these objects we use a function find view by ID. So when I type find, I get the suggestion, pick it, r dot id dot, what is the ID of the control that I want to link? btn1, semicolon. This line indicates this is the second step, that is object creation. Okay, and this line indicates that now your btn object is linked to the btn component of R class. Okay, so R is the resource, so r dot id dot btn1. Okay, so btn1 is ID of a component in resource folder in R class, right? So this is how we have created an object, and we have initialized that object. Initialization. Okay. All right. So we will stop here we will complete this project in the next video.
For more videos, download our app from the Play Store.